Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Catalyst Conversations. Today, we are diving deep into the mindset that's required to be a real achiever, a true wealth architect, because that's the woman who's listening. That mindset that's going to allow you to confidently overcome any barrier, whether it's an internal barrier or an external barrier. So, my guest today is the ultimate proof of the power of that mindset pivot. I am thrilled to introduce Ben Akuoko, the owner and founder of Brightside Scope. Ben is an acclaimed public speaker. He is a thought leader. He is an accessibility consultant. And I'll tell you, Ben is funny. I have to throw that in there as well. But Ben's work really centers on storytelling, resilience, and community building. Let me tell you a little bit about Ben. Ben is a Black man of Ghanaian descent, and Ben is living his marvelous life with low vision. Ben's journey of entrepreneurship and advocacy is really a powerful lesson in rewriting the script from perceived victimhood to unapologetic power. And I'm going to start us off by taking a bit of a dive into his personal motto. But first, Ben, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for an incredible intro. I gotta take you around everywhere I go.
Listen, have your people call my people and we're going to work out the details, right?
My
Yeah,
two
yeah,
people
yeah.
call your many people.
Yes, not a problem. Not a problem. But let's dive right in, Ben. Um, your personal motto that you shared with me, and probably it's one of a few, but this one is the one that you shared with me. You said, and you put a spin on a common quote, but I like your spin. Okay. Ben says, when life gives you lemons, you don't just make lemonade, you make an entire feast. Okay, Ben, I
Mhm.
have to know more. Tell me, what is that? First of all, in your scenario,
Yeah,
what is the lemon? What does the lemon represent in your lived experience?
absolutely. And I've been going by that mantra for so long.
Mhm.
And I find the lemon is opportunity, right? And
Mm.
coming from being Ghanaian, having parents from Kumasi, Ghana, I
Mhm.
grew up seeing my parents hustle, right? Like coming from a different country, living in Canada, living in a certain environment to get to where they are, and then even having low vision myself. And I feel that when life gives you opportunity, you use every squeeze of that opportunity, right?
Oh,
So even that play on people just want to make lemonade. Okay, that's it. That's a drink, right? But
right.
if life gives me lemons, I'm gonna make lemonade. I'm gonna make lemon meringue pie, some lemon
Yes.
chicken. I'm gonna do like everything. I use every single opportunity,
Yeah.
or with that opportunity, I will make it bigger and better than what it is, right? And more than the
Right.
next person.
Yeah, that is powerful because anyone else, if you ask them, what is your lemon? They would say, well, it's that situation where I lost this or someone did that to me. And, that's what happened. And then I turned it into something good. I tried or what have you. But from the get-go, your lemon is framed as opportunity. And I really love that. Have you always had this approach?
Yeah, no, I feel like I grew into it, and
Hmm.
it's all about like self-awareness
Right.
and maturity and growing into that confidence where things I looked at when I was younger or even in my early 20s or as a teenager where I catastrophized it. I was like,
Right.
why me? Oh my gosh, what is going on? This is not fair. Everybody gets this and I don't. And
Right.
I found that as I grew older, and we'll probably, or we will go into it in a little bit when we look at like victimizing, right? As I
Right,
got older, I feel like your mindset attributes if you're going to be a victim in the outcome of your life, right? And
right,
I feel that once you stop this mindset of why me? It's so unfair. Oh my
right.
gosh, like everybody else, like it starts to create, like I said, that lemon
Yeah,
where you create opportunity for yourself. You
yeah.
grasp opportunity, you grasp even with the bad, you grasp the good at the same time.
Yeah, you know what? For for those who are listening or watching, they're not familiar with your story, but I'll tell you honestly, when we connected before, if anybody has a right to have a victim mentality, it's probably you, because you started out, correct me if I'm wrong, you started out with full vision, and your vision has been deteriorating at a rapid rate. Tell us a little bit about that experience, because if anybody's gonna find the bitter side of the
Mhm.
lemon, you would think it would be you.
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with eye condition at 2 years old, something
Hmm.
by the name of retinitis pigmentosa.
Right.
And it was an eye condition where you didn't even know that you had some form of low vision. So it would be like, it was so confusing because it would be
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm playing soccer. Like, am I some magical, like, magician that I'm playing soccer and they're telling me that I have low vision?
Right.
And with that said, like you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, especially when you're in a environment where you have your fellow schoolmates, your peers, your family members who do have vision and don't
Mhm.
have to go through what you have to go through. And something that I remember is even as a kid going to retinal specialists and eye doctors. I remember as a kid, I was told that I'd be blind as a teenager. I'd go fully blind with the eye condition, right?
Right.
And that definitely takes a lot out of a young person, especially it's like you don't understand it. You have parents who are immigrant parents where it's
Mhm.
hard to kind of grasp for them, especially people
Right.
telling them that, oh, your son who I see playing basketball or watching TV is going to be like fully blind. What is going on? And
Wow.
to answer the tail end of your question,
Mhm.
yeah, you could get into a place where you're like, yeah, life isn't fair. And when you look at it on a piece of paper,
Mhm.
it it seems that way where you have, even as a teenager, you have all your friends getting their license and getting their first car and
Wow.
like being able to join a sports team and being able to, even as a teenager, it's hard to fit in the first place, right?
Yep.
So add that layer. So it was almost an evolvement or evolving as a person. And
Right.
definitely we're going to go more into the story, but after you start to have that self-awareness, you have that self-reflection, you
Mhm.
start to find ways where, you know what, like we keep saying, I'm going to use these lemons and these hardships and make them something positive, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I can't imagine what that would have been like, because you're right. The teen years are full of insecurities, they're full of self-doubt, they're full of identity crises
Mm,
for every human. Imagine going through this with the diagnosis that you had. And I just feel this, like, just this evolving sense of loss, because it's not as if it's something you never had. It's something that you have, but that you are just progressively losing. I have to ask you this though. A lot of the women I work with, they deal with, issues of shame, sometimes imposter mindset, that secret belief that they're just not capable. How did you personally make that pivot? I mean, you went from, and I know this probably creeps up every now and then for you. I know it's never a perfect thing, but how did you go from oh my goodness, this is terrible, and feeling like a victim, to actually embracing everything that's possible for you, everything that you are still able to do. Was it a moment in time that things just changed, or was this a progressive change for you?
Yeah, you know what? I think it was an accumulation of different
Mhm.
experiences.
Yeah.
So I got to admit that I I don't want to even say lucky, but I have been in spaces where here's me as a person who is a social worker, right? I'm a registered
Yeah.
social worker. I have my MSW.
Mhm.
Here's me in an environment of really hardworking parents and family. And then here's me where I seeked out an environment of individuals who have been through similar circumstances, right?
Right, right.
And it's not even just those three. It's like so many more aspects where it's like even getting educated and also even giving yourself time to breathe as well and like finding these tips and tricks that I learned from the social work field, right? And the
Right.
experiences of people who older and experienced it. So I feel like it is a accumulation. And
Mhm.
with what I'm doing with the Brightside Scope and what I'm doing right now, I feel like that's a celebration of the different aspects that I've been through. And I always explain with the Brightside Scope, and if you look at the logo, you have a sunburst on the logo, and you have like
Mhm.
bright, vibrant colors, and you have like the graffiti and the brick wall. And I always say that the brick wall, it
Mhm.
represents the grind, you know? It
Yeah.
represents where you've been through. It represents like stepping in the mud. It represents all the hurt. But
Mhm.
on that brick wall, I don't want people to miss out on the struggles. But I
Yeah.
still want people to see that brick wall, but see that the bright side, the sun came out of the struggle, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like positives came out of the struggle and to know that if it's someone who needs mentorship, if it's someone who's going through something similar, or even just going through something, that it is
Mhm.
hope and it
Yeah.
is opportunity to reach out to them and know that, yeah, you could make it to the place you want to make it.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, I like the meaning behind the logo because we have no control over the wall, right? We have no control over that situation that we happen to find ourselves in. We can adjust our perspective. You can shift the light, or you can step into the light. That would be your sunshine. And you can
Mhm,
bring brightness and light into your circumstance. It does not remove it, right? Because you are still
mhm,
dealing with retinitis pigmentosa. That has not
yes,
gone away, right?
yes.
So it's a perspective. And I'm gonna tell everybody right now, if y'all thought your hands was full, you don't know how many balls Ben has in the air right now
Yeah.
just doing his thing. So I understand when you talk about taking that lemon and making a feast because you are a business owner, you are an advocate, you are a speaker, you're a consultant, and I know that you happen to do a few other things as well. Let me tell everybody that Ben still runs marathons. Well, he still goes running.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? So I'm curious because you keep putting yourselves in situations and spaces where you are constantly being bombarded by barriers, barriers like inaccessibility or even the attitudes of those who have vision when they encounter you. You are in all of these places, all of these spaces. You're not hiding from them. That means it's in your face, Ben.
Hmm.
When the self-doubt comes, because I know that you have some insecurities that pop up every now and then, how
Hmm.
do you deal with that internal voice, the voice that no one else is hearing, but it's in your head? What's your game plan there?
Oh, it's funny. Before I answer that question, when you said that internal voice, do you know I'm allowed to like mention people's names, like
Yeah,
famous
man,
people,
go
right?
for it.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know if you need to pay them if I mention their names,
Listen,
but
I'm giving them free promotion, so go for
uh, so I listen to a lot of motivational videos on YouTube, and when you made mention of that voice, it's a motivational speaker named Les Brown. I bet you know
Oh my
Les.
goodness, yes. If you
Uh,
aim for the moon, you're gonna land in the stars.
Yeah, that's my guy, Les Brown. And I remember hearing him talk about it's these voices that say you can't do it, and nobody says, shut
Yeah,
up. And and that's how I feel. The
yeah,
voices that are telling me no, you can't do this. I'm just like, hey, shut up. No what? Get out of here. You're taking
yeah,
too
yeah,
much
yeah.
space in my head, right?
Right.
And the aspect of it is the things I do
Hmm.
is I told myself this where I want to live like I lived if I did have vision. And then at the same time, I almost want to live better than if I
Wow.
did have vision and experience things that many people would not experience. So, running a marathon, they say only 1% of people run marathons.
Hmm.
And to accomplish that, I feel like even after accomplishing a full marathon, I feel like nothing's really stopping me. Going skydiving, only a handful of people go skydiving, going to drive a go-kart when you don't see, only a handful of people, going on a movie set, only a handful of people,
Wow.
going to do stand-up comedy, only a
Yes.
handful of people, going to go do karaoke when you don't even know the words, only a handful of people. So I tell myself, and I'm getting really, really like fired up in a good way and excited in a good
Yes.
way because this question where, you know what, I want to live a life, a full, prosperous life,
Hmm.
despite whatever I have, like despite whatever comes in front of me.
Right.
I feel like everybody deserves to live a full, prosperous life where they have their dream
Hmm.
and they accomplish their dream with that hard work. So,
Yes, I love that. And all of us have a challenge. We all walk around with a challenge. It may not be a physical challenge. Some of us might have mental hiccups. Some of us may have official diagnoses. And there are a lot of us walking around that really need to get a diagnosis so we could get
yep,
ourselves sorted
yep.
out.
Hmm.
But but I agree. We all deserve to live a life that is full and rich. That's how I phrase it. We all deserve to
Hmm.
live a life that is full and rich, and you are definitely doing that. So tell me about Brightside Scope because Brightside Scope is your baby. You set this thing up to accomplish great things. So first, I guess I should ask you, what do you do within Brightside Scope?
Yeah, so with the Brightside Scope is basically I'm trying to give a voice to a population or just even people that weren't heard in the past or people felt hesitant to really tell their stories.
Right.
So the Brightside Scope, actually funny as it is, I used to make music, like hip hop music.
Yeah,
And
boy.
I had a song called Brightside,
Uh-huh.
and I really like this song because as one of the lyrics is even with my sunglasses, I'm still looking at the bright side, right?
Oh, nice.
And it's like that's been my personality for all
Right.
these years. Like even if I was in a space of angst or anxiety or a space where I was kind of down on myself, it was always that moment, whether
Mhm.
it was from my accord or someone else kind of propping me up, that I was always like, okay, you know what? Let me use the the hardship and you know what? Let me overcome it. And then when I overcome it, let me look back at the hardship and be like, oh
Mhm.
man, like I used to feel this way like 5 years ago and look at me now,
Right.
you know? So
Yeah.
essentially, the Brightside Scope is a platform for awareness, it's a
Mhm.
platform for celebration because as a black man who lives with a disability of low vision, there was once upon a time where I did not have a voice, and people like me
Right.
would not even, people would not even want to listen or
Right.
it being heard. And it was a lot of people who have been stagnant because people don't give them opportunities, right? So
Hmm.
with the Brightside Scope, I want to have like a loud, proud voice. I want to show people because people ask me, they're like, so you as a person who's blind, like, how do you like do this or like what do you do on your spare time? And I'm like, yo, okay, let me put a platform, social media platform, show you what I do on my spare time. Let
Yes,
me
and we
sh
saw that. You do all kinds of things in your spare time.
Yeah, let me show you the connections I'm making in my community and let me give back to my community. Like, and it doesn't even have to be disability. It doesn't have to even be race. Let me just give back. Let me bring joy to people. Let me
Mhm.
show people on those analogies of when life gives you lemons, you make a whole entire feast, right? So
Hmm.
I feel like it's a lot about empowerment. It's
Yeah.
an opportunity for me and others to have positive uh, conversations, that are
Mm.
meaningful conversations, and it gives a power to see the world a little bit differently, right? And for people to
Mhm.
be encouraged to tell their stories so we can see the world a little bit differently.
Oh my goodness, that is, and I think I shared this with you when we spoke before. There are so many things you share that as a full visioned person, I never even consider there. I remember when you told me how you ran. I'm like, I'm full vision and I don't run. I don't run unless there's a dog running after me. Come on, guy. I have no time for that. But it's amazing that every time you step out there, you're actually making a choice to step into an activity or step into an idea or step into a way of thinking that is deliberately chosen to get you to where you want to go. So, Brightside Scope is really purpose driven. It's almost like you're providing to people that thing that was not there for you when you were looking for it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, in all of that, and with all the work that you're doing, can you probably share one of your proudest achievements? What is one thing that, you saw the lemon and you decided there's a feast over there somewhere and you made it happen? I know there are probably a few.
Yeah, and no, I'm gonna go out through the route of like listing out quickly a
Sure.
bunch of proud moments because even you asking that, it's just all going in my head, and I'm like, oh, too many. But I gotta say quickly, getting my master's of social work
Hmm.
because I really struggled in school as a young person and really
Hmm.
struggled with in my academic environment. And then
Right.
feeling like even having that intersection of being a black male and education, I really
Hmm.
feel like we're not really encouraged to go get education. It's more so the trade. So
Right.
that's something really proud to be like have some representation in academics. Also completing the marathon. Completing the
Oh.
marathon was something that was so physically demanding.
Hmm.
And honestly, I felt like you just shut down after 30K, at least
Yep.
for myself.
Yep.
And I felt that if I was able to physically push myself to do something that like you have cramps in your legs, you had cramps in your arms, your stomach, you just didn't want to go on. But I did it, and even with like support of great people, that's
Right.
very, very special to me. And then also opening up the Brightside Scope because
Mm.
there's one point in my life where I felt that I didn't want people to see what I was doing. It didn't
Hmm.
matter, or I wasn't good enough for people to see what I was doing, or I felt so uninterested or like I wasn't an interesting person. So even
Right.
just opening up the Brightside Scope has provided me with even confidence on, okay, people do want to hear my story and people are actually motivated, and I don't really use the word inspired a lot because I don't
Right.
think I'm an inspiration, but people are inspired to do their thing, right?
Yeah, you are definitely an inspiration, Ben, whether you think so or not, because everything that you've just shared to me are things, like you said, most humans don't get to accomplish,
Mhm.
right? So it's not, I wouldn't even say it's so much in that it is the feats are so extraordinary. It's that you choose to do it. You say to yourself, I'm gonna achieve this. You acknowledge the brick walls that are in front of you, and you
Mhm.
set about like figuring it out some way, somehow. I'm going to get this done, and you do it to its completion. So you might not think of yourself as an inspiration, but I certainly think of you as an inspiration. I'm making you blush. Look at that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm blushing. And
Yeah.
it's all computer effects, everybody. It's not.
I like that. Just putting on some bright lights there on your cheeks.
CG right there.
No, but I think just being vulnerable enough, because going from the place where I don't want anybody to have to see this to the place where you're telling the world this is what my life looks like, for better or worse, the pretty, the not so pretty, and how it pains your heart. I know the Blue Jays lost. I'm so sorry.
Mm, yeah. I thought we weren't gonna bring that up in the podcast.
I saw you take your swing with and by the way, when you watch that video, Ben was cheering for the Blue Jays. He knows you're not supposed to lift his cane. He was in a private setting, but by all means, he was cheering for the team like anyone else would do. And
Hmm.
I really liked seeing that. I liked seeing you being full and being, dare I say, ordinary.
Hmm.
I think even in
Hmm.
that is was inspirational. So you've had a few very proud moments, and rightly so. I commend you for, making that shift. How are you moving forward these days? What is the future looking like for Brightside Scope, and where do you see this going?
Absolutely. So right now, as I am right now in this space, a lot of podcast interviews where we have great discussions.
Mhm.
Also, a lot of presentations to schools and organizations on how we can
Mhm.
make our spaces inclusive. And then it's a lot of discussions on like intersectionality, like as a person who's racialized
Mhm.
and a person who lives with a disability, and a lot of coalitions where we're looking for equity and looking for a push on how to help community. And then in the entertainment scope, right? So
Mhm.
it's also a lot of representation in entertainment. So I'm having the love of acting and having the
Ooh.
love of the arts as well. And then a lot of like consulting with accessibility. And last but not least, like I said, great conversations, really warm conversations where not only am I feeling that I'm teaching, but I'm learning on the other side of it. And I'm learning about what we're doing in the community and all the knowledge mobilization that's happening in the spaces of like blackness and disability and race and just any sort of intersectionality. So I'm just really, really excited where the Brightside Scope will bring us. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. Really, really excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And I'm rarely on Instagram, but that's where you live, so I'm checking it out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm totally checking it out. You know what? I just want to touch on your parents before we wrap this up.
Absolutely.
And because I suspect your parents' own upbringing had a good bit to do with you not being allowed to just go mopey and depressed and what have
Mhm.
you. How did your parents manage raising you with your condition and kind of contributing, for better or worse, to your mental health?
Yeah, absolutely. So even with that said, when you're younger and you interact with your parents, you're like, they did this, they did this, they didn't understand. Like that Will Smith song, parents just didn't understand, right?
Uh-huh.
But as you get older and this will be a love letter to my parents on this podcast that I respect everything that they did for me, where
Hmm.
they treated me like everybody else, right?
Wow.
If I did something bad, yo, I couldn't get away with it, right?
Okay.
Also, the fact that they fought for me, I didn't realize it, right? They fought for me when I was in school, when they want to hold me back in school, but my parents were like, "No, you can do it." They
Right.
encouraged me to go get an education, and they were always just supportive, right? And they
Right.
just seeing what they've been through and
Mhm.
seeing how they had to hustle from like nothing to something has
Yeah.
put this fire in me that I just can't put out because it's just, and I call it that Ghana like Ghana hustle or Ghana determination where it's just like, or the African determination where it's you just came from nothing.
Yeah.
So anything that you get, you make it into something, right? You are
Yeah.
grateful for things that you do have, and you enjoy it too, right? And
Yeah.
also the fact that my parents were just so good to people, right? Like
Mm.
it's times where I'd flash back and I'd see my dad, and I didn't realize it at the time, where it would something would happen to someone and he would go out of his way to help.
Right.
And same with my mom. So, like I said, this is a love letter to my parents, and I'm so happy and so glad that they raised me to be who I am today.
Yes, yes. I couldn't let the episode go by without acknowledging the hustle. I'm a first generation immigrant to the country as well, and I recognize that fire you talk about, that
Mm.
drive, because you left so much behind, and you come here and you want it to not be a disadvantage to your children. So I definitely
Mhm.
recognize that. And kudos to you, Guy. You're making your parents proud. You are living up to everything that they fought for you. So even in that light, come on, Ben, you have to know you're an inspiration. Come on.
I take it. I take it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
it's
take it. That
I
doesn't mean you're
receive it.
perfect, you know? It just
Mhm.
means that you take actions, you make choices every day that help someone, face life. They help them make a decision, help them, choose to do a brave thing. So you can take it, you know?
Okay,
Yes.
I'll take it.
Yeah, listen, it's been great having this conversation. I know there's so much more we can get into because you've had your business struggles as an entrepreneur and you're still building that out. You're still learning, you're still growing. But I want to be able to keep following your adventures, and I'm sure our audience is going to want to know as well. So please tell me, where on these great interwebs can people be finding Ben and figuring out what is Ben up to now?
Absolutely, absolutely. So you can visit me on Instagram and it's brightside_scope. And then also I have my website, www.brightsidescope.com. And then you could also find me on LinkedIn, and that's Ben Akuoko, Akuoko. And then I am starting to be a little bit active on TikTok. So that's Brightside
Okay.
Scope. Yeah.
You brave boy. I leave TikTok behind.
I don't blame you. I know
I
this
could
is
not keep up.
a new venture for sure. So yeah,
No, that's cool. That's being brave, and you have the content. I'll tell you honestly, the world needs to see that, and you being that voice, it's just been great. So keep doing that fantastic work.
thank you so much, Hadriana, and thank you for having me today.
Yes, yes, thank you. In fact, thank you for showing us what true resilience and deliberate intentional action can look like, regardless of what life throws at us. And for reminding us, you know what? Times get better, things improve. The story that you're in is not the end of the story when we commit to growing, to learning, and to improving becoming our best selves every day. So thanks so much. It's been great having you with me.
Mhm.
And to my listeners, to my viewers, if you've been listening right now and you're feeling that weight, whether it's an external circumstance or an internal barrier, it's really time to stop waiting. Stop waiting for things to get better. And you need to intentionally start building a foundation that makes things better. It starts with clarity, it starts with getting really clear and eliminating these blind spots that happen to be in your way. Please, guys, if you're looking at a wealth blind spot, go to my Catalyst Index, take a few minutes to do that and get your diagnosis. In the meantime, I hope you have enjoyed this episode with Ben. It's been fantastic, and I look forward to seeing all of you on the next episode of Catalyst Conversations. Until next time, take care.